We have an idea, right? And it seems like we have a mix, expectations. Some people are trying to get in fit between enablement and operations activity. More are focused on back-end and enablement activity, right? So we are going to cover all these three all together, right? All three. So what will be the approach in order to get it done, right? We are going to learn the few things first, like we'll learn how the system needs to get executed, what it all required to done it, and then we'll see how exactly we can manipulate the process. And majority of the sessions are going to be hands-on only. We, I think, have one or two sessions which are going to be theoretical. Now, since we have couple of students here who are more into consulting and program management kind of activity, even being a consultant, it will be you who are going to suggest your client that which solution can fit in, right? And which solution can solve their problem. Because being, a industry, they will try to explore multiple solutions altogether, multiple solutions. And then they have to choose whether they have to go for Ariba, Coupa, Zyco, StraightShift, or Procurify, or maybe something else, right? Let's suppose we have already decided that we have to go for Ariba. In that case, also we do have multiple solutions within Ariba available, right? Have you heard about on-demand solution? Since you already done certain level of R&D already, we have on-demand solution and on-premises solution. Can you help me to understand what exactly is the on-demand solution? Anyone can answer this question. What is on-demand solution or cloud solution? Anyone? Because I saw there are many consultants available who have a good number of years of experience, even 9, 10, 15. Anyone who knows about cloud solution? Because cloud solution will be available in a case of S/4HANA too.
On-premise solution is like typically where the necessary hardwares and the servers are based on the customer premises or the company. Whereas for the
Okay.
cloud, it is managed by the vendor, and it is like it's managed and organized by the vendors.
All right, so that's the correct statement that we have on-premises solutions available within the premise only, that too in customer's premise. But if I'm talking about on-demand solution, the data centers will be available at service provider location. And you will see majority of the clients are working on cloud solution, and we just got two data centers available, which is Europe and US. Now let's just talk about few of the differences between on-demand and on-premises solutions so that I can make you enable in order to talk about the solution which can fit in, right? So whenever you are going to talk about the solutioning side, you have to consider a few of the factors, right? Those factors are budget, security, and flexibility. When I'm talking about budget, see, this on-demand solution is high in license cost. I'm talking about facts. But at the same time, if I'm referring to on-premises solution, it will be less in cost. When I say cost, that means license cost. But this involves the cost of infrastructure also. Your hardware, like your switches, routers, connectors, data centers, right? All these things. And if I'm combining the cost of infrastructure with the license cost, it will be on a higher side. In total, this will be less cost. So this is about budget. If I'm going to talk about flexibility, the on-demand solution, Ariba will not allow you to do majority of the customizations, right? So I'll say this is going to be limited customizations offerings. You see, they have the application available which is being used through the different APIs by different customers, right? You will see that the same data center is containing the data from Ford, Honda, Marie Curie, Agilent, even any other company too. They are basically storing their own data to the same location. So you will have the accessibility permissions that too are limited. You will have the customization permission that too are limited. So that's why I said that okay, you will be not able to make many changes in this solution. But in on-premises solution, since you own the application, that means you can do as many as customizations as you want, right? So I'll say this is more flexible. Now, third thing is the security. When I say security, that means we are going to talk about on-demand solution. I know that if you are going to work with Ariba or SAP, any of the team, you are going to sign an NDA document, right? Which is nothing but non-disclosure document, or you will say DPA, which is data privacy agreement, with a lieu amount also. That okay, if something goes wrong with the data center, you have to pay us. But again, there is a risk associated. You are sharing your data to other company who have their data center available in Europe and US. That means there is a risk available, or I will say they are offering standard level of security. But in case of on-premises solutions, since you are owning this entire application, right? You can do as many as customizations. You can have your own archer team or security team in place who is responsible to make your system as secure as required. That means we have more security options available. And I would say high security standards. Now let's just talk about industry types. Can you give me a couple of industry names? Maybe I'm talking about IT industry. We have manufacturing. Do we have something else?
Pharmaceuticals,
Okay,
food
pharma. What else?
food industry,
Okay, I'll call it as FMCG.
Mining and freight,
Okay, that is going to be mining. What else?
transportation,
Okay, transportation. I'll mark it in the tour and travel. What else?
oil and gas, process industry,
Okay, that is going to be ONGC. What else? What else?
automotive,
Sorry?
Automotive, automobile, automotive.
Okay, so I'll mark under manufacturing to cover everything, right? Your gear
Aerospace,
manufacturing or your automobile manufacturing, everything. We have already covered it. What else?
aerospace,
Okay, aeronautics.
Textiles.
Sorry,
Textiles.
textile. That is under manufacturing.
Okay. Retail.
Retail. What else?
Telecommunication.
Sir,
Service
Okay,
sectors.
media and communication.
banking,
We have finance. What else? What
services,
else?
which is
Sorry?
services. I mean, like consulting. Yeah.
Okay, IT
And
services. I have already maintained on the top.
no. I'm not talking about IT service. I'm talking about.
Banking
I don't know.
sectors.
That is under finance.
Finance.
We have many, right? We have aeronautics, we have space and research organizations, we have federals, we have state, we have agriculture, we have education, we have recruitment, we have marketing,
Real estate.
real estate. Anything else?
Healthcare.
That's already covered. That's already covered under pharmaceutical. If you want, I can keep it like this. Anything else? See, if we are sitting here for next 3 4 hours also, we might be able to add few more, maybe 5 6 more names, right? Not more than that. That means if you do have millions and billions of company across globe, you may be able to segregate those companies in handful of the categories, right?
Different services.
And don't you think that the same domain industry will have the similar kind of requirements and issues? If I'm trying to compare the business between Honda cars and Maruti Suzuki or Ford, don't you think they have this similar kind of process? They have to purchase the similar kind of products from similar set of suppliers, and they used to sell it to the similar kind of audience and customers too. They are doing a report analysis that to the similar kind, isn't it? Hey, hello.
Yes, yeah, it's so everyone have their own customization, configurations, and things.
That is the, on the granular level, right? But you will see the majority of the sections are quite similar. See, if I'm referring to Ford or I'm referring to Honda, they both are purchasing tires. They both are purchasing steering. They both are purchasing a similar kind of material. They both have the similar kind of operations. You will not never see that okay, a car is having 5 tires or 6 tires. They have the same product. They have the same set of machineries too. Maybe a branding can be different. Maybe a contract with a supplier can be different. maybe the volume can be different. Even they have the similar kind of targeted customers too, and they are doing the same set of data analysis. That means they have the similar kind of problems also. In that case, if I'm trying to refer, let's suppose, you will get it, right? What I'm trying to say. Okay, we missed out defense, right? If I'm referring to defense, if I'm referring to federal or state organizations, space and research organizations, right? Or maybe I'm trying to refer the aeronautics, or maybe ONGC. Do you think that out of these three, which one will be their preferred factor to make a decision?
Security.
Hello?
Security.
Security. So if they are focusing on security side, which solution they should go for?
On-premise.
On premises.
On premises. That's correct, and that's how you will be deciding. Now, there can be chances that you will see in pharmaceutical or life science or fast moving goods and services, you have additional features available, which is not, which cannot be fulfilled by using just the one solution. So you need multiple customizations in it in order to use the supply chain collaboration in an effective way. In that case, for FMCG, for pharmaceutical and life science, or for chemical industry, for retail, you will be going for on demand and on premises, might be both, right? We have a third kind of solution available, which is hybrid solution, where we can have a certain set of Ariba into cloud and certain set of Ariba on premises solution, right? So whenever you see there is a whenever you see there is a focus on security side, always suggest your client to go for the on-premises solution. If you see there is a budget crunch, ask them to go for on-demand solution. And but at the same time, you cannot suggest defense industry client to go for the on-premises solution. Sorry, on-demand solution, right? So you will generally see the IT industry sector, the manufacturing, or your finance industry are more focused on the on-demand solution. You will see that once you're getting into the project, you will see if that is a client for Johnson and Johnson, you will see there is an on-demand solution available. But at the same time, if you are dealing with one of the defense client, maybe Royal Commission in Dubai, maybe Indian Army, maybe someone else, you will see that they have on-premises solution in place. Make sense? Hello?
Yes, yeah, it is.
Now you're comfortable, right? How to give a solution to your client.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great. I'm going to open one of the presentation to you. We'll talk about it in detail. I'm going to start in slideshow here.
So it's in hybrid solution, what part of on-demand and what part of on-premise we
We'll
focus?
talk about it. I know this question should be there, so we'll talk about it. There is a
Yeah.
slide specific to this one. All right. So this is going to be more focused on the on-cloud solution itself, right? Our entire course will be focused on on-demand solution, and I hope you are able to know till date that we are going to talk about the world's largest business to business network. When I say business to business network, we are not going to deal with the end customer, right? We are going to deal with a trading company. It can be a distributor, it can be a manufacturer, or it can be a buyer. I'm going to the next slide. This is going to be our agenda for today. We are going to talk about Ariba solution overview. We'll talk about Ariba network. We'll go through the source to settle cycle and the difference between the traditional and the current process. Then we'll talk about Ariba implementation methodology in our later on sessions, along with Ariba roadmap and the basic reasons and the failures too. So if I'm talking about Ariba history, it was founded in 1996 with six of the people, right, in Sunnyvale, California. It says that Ariba provides spend management solution which helps companies to analyze and manage their corporate spending to achieve cost savings and business process efficiency, right? This is not the correct statement as of today because we have certain other solutions coming into the picture and now we are calling it as an intelligent spend management solution, which only not covers the corporate spending but also handles the contingent workforce management as well as your travel and expense management too. We are talking about Ariba and we are calling it world's largest business to business network. Why? Because we are not dealing with the end customer, but we are going to deal with the trading company. We'll talk about what trading company means. Now, there are certain competitors to Ariba, which is ZP, Proctis, Bravo Solutions, Oracle, Procurify, Zycos, TradeShift, Coupa, Torres, and many others, right? And you must have heard about Oracle and Coupa at least, right? And you will see, some other solutions too, which are nowadays popular in the market. If I'm talking about the latest version of on-demand solution and on-premises solution, for on-demand, the current latest version is 16S. And if I'm talking about on-premises solution, that is still remains same, which is 9R2. Because you will see less frequent updates in on-premises solution and more frequent updates on the cloud solution. Do we have any questions here? This is just a glimpse of history about Ariba.
Good so far. Thank you.
We are talking about Ariba Solution Suite, and these are the few of the offerings available right from Ariba Solution. If you would like to purchase just the spend visibility, you don't want to do the sourcing or procurement activity, you just would like to use Ariba to have the spend analysis, then you can simply go with this particular solution itself. It's a bundle of services available altogether, right? We have spend visibility, we have collaborative sourcing, procurement on demand, collaborative finance, and collaborative commerce. We were talking about hybrid solution, right? So if you want, you can go with collaborative sourcing and procurement on demand with cloud solution, and rest of the things you can go for the on-premises. Similarly, you can go for these three on cloud or these two on on-premise or as you want, right? You can choose which one bundle you would like to go for on cloud solution or which bundle you would like to go for the on-premises one. Who was asking this question?
Yeah,
Someone asked this
it
question.
was me. It's yeah.
Okay.
Vishnu.
Vishnu. Okay. So Vishnu, we do have a specific bundle available for each kind of activity. Let's suppose you would like to do sourcing activities like getting the quotes, having the negotiation with the supplier. Go for the collaborative sourcing. If you would like to run your end-to-end procurement operations, go for the procurement on demand. It says from requisition till invoice solution, sourcing till contract solution. Similarly,
So
if you would
for
like to handle your finance and accounting, go for collaborative finance and collaborative commerce.
so in a hybrid solution, I'll be keeping my package in both SAP data center as well as on-premise data centers.
Exactly. So, see, if you don't want to share your finance and commerce data with anyone,
Hmm.
keep this one into on-premises and keep it this one on solution, which is on demand. And now you may ask that what can be the benefit keeping something on demand
Hmm.
or cloud solution while we already have our own team. You need not
Yeah.
to spend money in order to maintain these three solutions at least. It will be maintained by the service provider itself with the less cost involved, right?
Hmm.
Now you can just hire the finance and AP team for this particular activity so that they can maintain their own activities into one solution. Right, running and maintenance of cloud solution is a bit easy and cost efficient. While if you are going to maintain something on an on-premises solution, you might be able to make it scrap, right? You will not be able to get the right output because then if you have the right resources available, then only you will be able to make it efficient. But in case of on-demand solution, you just have to ask your Ariba to get the customizations done and they are liable to do that. It's their responsibility. So maintaining the Ariba solution on cloud is far easier than an on-premises solution is.
Mm.
Now, an increase of the bundles has been clearly seen. If you're going to talk about the current Ariba solutions, you might have some additional features here, maybe Concur, Field Glass, Intelligent Spend Management, right? Even your other bundles, which is CIG and your Intelligent Configuration Manager, which is ICM. Now, Ariba supports both side of activities, which is buy and sale, right? You can use Ariba being a customer, you can use Ariba being a seller too, or supplier too. And you can flow your cash also between buyer and supplier. Now, any questions on this slide? Any questions? I'll take it as no. We are going to the next slide. This is going to
Yeah,
be the
actually,
Ariba.
just one question, Rich.
Yes, please.
Uh, where do Ariba trade automation fits in?
Can you repeat your question, please?
Ariba trade automation.
So when you say trade automation, you are talking about the
P2P,
collaboration with
P2P,
supplier.
yeah, P2P process, part of P2P with invoicing.
Okay, so you're talking about operations. See, there are two things, right? Which is collaborative sourcing and collaborative procurement, which can fulfill your entire requirements there. We are going to talk about this slide, which will tell you where exactly the everything will be fitting in. It's a
Okay,
complete cycle from source to settle.
okay,
So let's just talk about Ariba network key characteristics. So network is nothing but it's a middleware, right? It is going to see the communication between buyer and supplier is going to be a three-way communication. So when I say three-way communication, that means if a supplier is trying to communicate with buyer, supplier has to communicate first with Ariba network, and Ariba network further on sends the communication to supplier or buyer. That means whatever communications you are going to have, there will be a record available within Ariba. So there will be no manual communications. You need not to get a communication done through a cell phone or through an email. It's a collaborative platform which Ariba is offering. And there are certain key characteristics of this particular network too. We are calling this network as global, trusted, and secure. New business opportunities. We are calling it open, comprehensive, and intelligent. Why we are saying so? We are saying that Ariba network is global because we have more than 1 million plus global trading companies. That too are spread over more than 190 countries and 172 different currencies. And it supports more than 60 languages. That's why we are calling it global. Why we are calling it trusted and secure? Because we already used to have an NDA signed, right, with this Ariba company, and this is a child company of SAP too. And in addition to that, if you're going to work with any of the company, we have this particular DNB company which comes with out of the box features available. You just have to pay a little bit fees, and they are liable to visit and physically verify the company. They are going to do risk analysis for you, right? And at the same time, it's open for new business opportunities too, because we do have a pool of more than 1 million trading companies. Why we are calling it trading companies? Because a supplier can be a buyer to you also, right? Maybe if I'm working as an tire manufacturing company and I'm supplying tires to Honda cars, I may be purchasing Honda cars for my employees for their fleet services. So I'm a supplier for Honda cars as well as I am a buyer too. In that case, we are going to call them a trading company. Not only 1 million plus suppliers, but we have Thomas Industrial Network available with more than 2 million suppliers. If I'm combining Thomas Industrial Network with Ariba, it will be more than 3 million suppliers, and it's a huge number. I can sit in India and try to search someone in Japan or China, I can easily do that. within the Ariba. I need not to do any of the marketing kind of thing. We have a specific portal available, which is Ariba Discovery, where you can post your ad that okay, you are looking for this kind of product. Maybe you are offering this kind of product. It's as similar as you are posting something on Just Dial. You are posting something on OLX. The person who sees your ad will get in touch with you. Either you have a requirement or you have an offering. In that case, you will be able to enable new business opportunities being a supplier or a customer, both. We are calling it open because we can integrate SAP Ariba with any of the solution, right? Any ERP, be it it's an Oracle, it's an SAP, it's in PeopleSoft, in Force, Sage, Bullson, Bullseye, JD Edwards, Mainframe, any of the technology. It's open, right? And we can use multiple technologies too. Till the time, if you're trying to integrate SAP Ariba solution with Oracle, we have ITK, we have Delboomi. If you're trying to integrate your SAP solution with the SAP Ariba, then we have CIG. It's supposed PIPO2, it's supposed Delboomi, it's supposed TIBCO also. So it open for any of the technology, any of the ERP setup. So that's why we are calling it open. We are calling it comprehensive too because it is easy, right? We just have a single platform to do all the activities. You need not to switch out, switch in. You need not to learn for a T code. You can simply get into the solution and you can do whatever you want. All the solutions will be in the same umbrella, right? You can do sourcing, you can do contract, procurement, configuration from the same section. It's like you are going to surf your Facebook or LinkedIn. You just have to play with buttons in your mouse. No coding is required. Now we are calling it intelligent too. Why we are calling it intelligent? Nowadays, if you are going to go for a solution with SAP Ariba, they will try to sell the solution in such a way that it is resolving a problem, right? So what is the problem what they are trying to resolve? Okay, if I'm going, let's suppose 10, 15 years back, right? You will see 80% of the positions were full time. Only 20% of the positions were on contract. Isn't it true? Hello? Anyone who can relate with my words that if I'm going back maybe 10, 12 years, I'll see more positions are full time than the contract one, and the ratio was 80 and 20. But if I'm talking about today, you are seeing almost 60% positions contractual.
Yeah.
Yes,
Is
yeah,
it true?
in the market, and it is happening. It is happening in such a way.
What is the reason behind it?
Um,
That you have to understand. See, that's what we are calling it contingent workforce management, right? Earlier, the contract policies were contradicting with the HR policies. HR policy says that, okay, we have to onboard a candidate, we have to open his PF account, we have to give him a notice period if we are going to lay off this particular person at least 2 months earlier, or we will be liable to pay the 2 months of the salary to him. Is that correct? But at the same time,
yes, yes.
I'm trying to hire a contractor for just 10 days.
Mhm.
If you're trying to hire a contractor for 10 days, will you be able to give him a notice period 2 months early?
Not at all possible.
Not possible. That's why you generally see in the old age, the electricians, the plumbers, or your cleaning services were hired as full-time employees, right?
Yeah,
Now, what's happening? And you will see the another portion of this activity, the majority of the consulting firm like Accenture, TCS, L&T, Wipro, Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, EY, those are coming into existence after 20s, right? When I say Accenture, TCS, Infosys, majority of them only does have an existence from somewhere around 1998 or 1999. Why? Okay, let me just ask one more question to you. How many of you are working with one of the consulting firm, like a service provider company, not with the product-based company? Many of you, right? Hello?
Yes, yes, let's
Is
see.
there anyone? Is
Uh,
there anyone who's
uh,
working with L&T, TCS, Infosys, or such kind of company? Then you will see that you are not actually working for that company, but you are working for one of their client, right? As when I was working with Accenture, I was working for a client of Accenture, not for Accenture only. That means Accenture was one of the contractor to that particular client. So what was basically happening now is, right, we have field glass available. And not only field glass, but you will have similar kind of other tools available into the market, which help you to manage the contingent workforce, right? You will see in your firm itself, if you are working for one of your client, you will have other deals too within the same company, and you will see more than 100, 200, 300, maybe 50 people are working for the same client. Rather than managing 50 different people, I'm talking about solution to the client. Rather than managing 50 different people, they are just managing a single invoice. You will see the entire hour spent on the work will be billed to that particular client within the same invoice. Isn't it true? Hello?
Yes, they are
So
paying
you
them
are
at the
handling you
yeah.
are handling your workforce, that to contingent one, to the field class. And the another problem which companies were facing related to travel and expense management. Earlier, right, if I'm going to send a delegation to, let's suppose, Germany or Dubai, right, to have the business deals done, I don't have any visibility. That means if someone is even spending $5, they are charging me 50,000, I have to pay for it. Right? Everything was a manual work. Even someone is trying to submit a bill which is not accurate or which is not correct and which is getting passed, because you cannot have a visibility to each and everything. Right? So for that particular activity, we have Concur in place. By using Concur, what exactly we are doing is we are allocating a business card to each and every traveler. And we have implemented some policies. When I say policy, that means only the senior most manager in the group can pay the fees, so that it will go to the another one for an having and review. And at the same time, there will be certain commodities on which you can spend the money. And whatever you are spending through that particular credit card, if that is qualifying for the reimbursement, it will automatically pick up and submitted the details to the reimbursement within the Concur. That means now travel and expenses management is also easy. And we have a standard solution which is available for procurement spend, which is procurement of products and services. Combining all these three solutions, we are calling it as an intelligent spend management. That's why we are calling it intelligent here too. Here, right? Now we talked about DNB, we talked about Thomas Industrial Network as well as other equipments within the Ariba network too. But we have certain things like DocuSign, we have Discover Bank, we have PayPal, right? Since we are managing the cash flow through the network itself, we can use PayPal and Discover Bank to do the transactions in between. At the same time, I need not to print out the document, sign it, scan it, upload it into the into the Ariba, but I can sign the documents on the go by using the DocuSign. I'm talking about contracts. So any questions here on this particular slide? Any questions?
So in the intelligence side, there you explained about field gas and Concur, which was really good.
Mhm.
So where does Ariba come into picture over here?
This procurement spend, this
Okay,
will
that
be
is
done by
totally.
Ariba. Yeah,
Mm,
right. And Ariba is integrated with Fieldglass and Concur.
mm,
Make sense?
yeah. So does we need Ariba for every field glass and Concur, or it's just an separate solutions?
No, Ariba is the base, and if you would like to purchase Ariba with Concur, you can go for it. Ariba with Fieldglass, you can go for it. Ariba with both, you can go for it. But nowadays, Ariba will try to sell the solution to you on a higher cost, calling it as an intelligent spend management.
Mm, yeah. Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Great. So this is going to be the standard procurement process, right? But before jumping onto SAP Ariba spend management or procurement process, I would like to know about the traditional procurement process because many of you are belonging to SAP background. Can anyone elaborate the P2P cycle, please? How exactly are doing it?
PR, PO, GR, and IR after payment, right?
Okay, what you said this PR?
PO,
Mm-hmm.
GR,
Mm-hmm.
IR,
Mm-hmm.
payment.
Payment. Okay, anyone else who would like to do the corrections on it in this cycle?
So after peer, we can give RFQ.
Mm, okay, that is going to be a separate RFQ. Okay, let me just write it this way. RFQ. Okay. Okay. Anyone else who would like to make some corrections here?
Contract followed by purchase orders.
Mm,
Contract order.
okay. Okay. Anything else? All right. Let me just explain the cycle in SAP. So see, whenever there is a requirement, right, for any of the product, people used to raise a purchase requisition, right? The purchase requisition will go for an approval process. Once approved, it will convert into purchase order. And then there will be a PO release strategy also. After release strategy, it will reach out to the supplier by a PO output method, right? You are going to send it through the email, through fax, right? Through printout. How exactly you are going to send? This will be decided by PO output method, right? After supplier receives the purchase order, what they will do? They will do the GR. That means they will send out the goods or they will create an inbound delivery in your system. And then you will receive the product. That will be GRN, good recipient. And after good receipt, you will receive the invoice. And then there will be a concept of three-way match or two-way match. Are you comfortable what exactly it is? What is
So
three-way
in
match or two?
In three-way match, invoice, GRN and PO will be matching. No, payment invoice
Exactly.
and GRN will be matching.
Not
In two-way
payment.
match,
Payment will happen
oh,
little later. Payment will happen if three-way match or two-way match is successful. We are going to match GRN, invoice, and PO,
in two-way
right?
invoice and GRN.
Exactly. Invoice and PO. In two-way, you are going to match invoice and PO.
Okay.
In three-way match, you are going to match PO, GRN, and invoice. And in GRN, we are never going to maintain the price section. That's why we used to maintain quantity in three documents, which is invoice, GRN, and PO, and price in two documents, which is invoice and PO. It's as similar as you're ordering something from a shop and you will get a bill, right? You have to make sure that whatever you receive the product or whatever you have ordered, you are getting billed for the same product at the same price or not. So this is three-way match, and now the payment will happen. So this was the traditional procurement to pay cycle. Now let's just talk about how it happens in Ariba, right? I'm going to maintain the procurement to pay cycle in Ariba. So everything will be starting from a purchase requisition itself, right? Now purchase requisition will try to find the source of supply, which is nothing but a contract and a supplier. If these two things are available, then we will submit the PR and it will go for an approval process. Once approved, it will convert into a purchase order. This purchase order will be transmitted to supplier. Now, supplier receives a particular part like purchase order and they have to create an order confirmation. After order confirmation, they will start sending us the advanced shipping notifications. After advanced shipping notifications, you will receive the product. After receiving the product, the invoice will happen. And there will be a two-way match or three-way match. And once it's when successful, you will trigger the payment. Isn't it looks like this similar to the traditional process itself? Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
There will be only few steps which are easy to have an update. Whatever the issues were with the traditional process, we have resolved it here, right? Now, let's just talk about if we don't have the source of supply, means contract and supplier available. So what will happen? In SAP, you used to raise an PR to RFQ, right? If this purchase requisition is being created from SAP system, then it will turn into RFQ itself. If this is raised in Ariba, then we are going to create it into source single request. With reference to the sourcing request, we are going to create a sourcing project. Now, to take part in the sourcing project, we have to create a supplier also. And source of supplier can be anything. It can be discovery portal. It can come from a manual reference. You find it on Google anywhere, right? Once you have the supplier ready, you have to negotiate the price. Once you are able to negotiate with the price and agreed on terms of business, you are going to set up a contract with them. Once you have a contract available, now you have the prerequisites available, the contract and the supplier. Now this PR can be turned into this particular process once again. So if someone is referring a process from PR to contract, that means they are talking about source to contract cycle. If someone is referring to this purchase requisition till payment, they are referring to purchase to pay cycle. If someone is referring to this entire cycle, which is PR to contract, and from this entire cycle till payment, that means they are referring to source to settle cycle. Now that's what we can discuss here also. So what it says analyze. Whenever there is a requirement, we have to do a quick analysis. Might be looking for a plane, but I have to check whether the plane is available in my stockyard or not. If that is not available in this plant, is it available somewhere else in any other plant which I can use? In that case, a quick analysis will be done whether to make it in-house or we want to source it from outside in the market. Once we are able to finalize that thing, let's suppose we have to source it, we have to create a plan. In which quantity do we have the budget available, or when exactly we want to purchase it? We might have a party in next year. Would you like to purchase milk today? It should not. So the product should be purchased on the right time. So we have to plan accordingly. Once have the planning ready, then we have to find from where to purchase. We have to identify the possible list of suppliers. Once we are able to finalize from where to purchase, we have to get those suppliers registered. Once the suppliers are registered, we have to make them qualify on the basis of quality parameters. Are they having 9001 certified or not? Are they women-owned organization or not? Do they have 9001 ISI, ISO certifications? Are they certified by the quality parameter maintaining companies or not? Once they fulfill the quality criteria, we are going to invite them to have the bidding process. That means negotiation of the price. You may be having a unit price for $5,000, but what if I would like to purchase 5,000 pieces? So the prices will be different, right? Whenever the quantity will go up, the prices will reduce or it will go down. Once we have the agreement on the terms and condition, after sale services, on-site support, all these things, then we are going to create a contract. Once we have the contract created, it will be getting signed with both of the parties. Once we have a deal done, we are going to raise a purchase requisition. This purchase requisition will flow through an approval process. Once approved, it will convert into purchase order. Once purchase order has been created, at the same time, it will be transmitted to supplier. It will exactly similar as you're ordering something from Zomato, Food Panda, from Amazon, Flipkart. Once you are placing an order, the first notification you will receive is order placed or order has been accepted by the restaurant. And after that, you will keep receiving the status update that, okay, a wallet has been assigned. The food is being prepared. It will be out for delivery in the next 5 minutes. Out for delivery. Reaching out to you in next 2 minutes. Finally reached. So that reach is nothing but receipt when you receive the product. And you will see majority of the time along with the receipt only, you're used to receive the invoice too. So once you have the invoice created, now you got three legal documents generated, which is invoice, receipt, and purchase order. In these three things, you are going to match price and quantity. Quantity will be matched in order, receipt and invoice, all three documents that whatever we have ordered, have we received the same. It should not be the case that I ordered an apple and I received an pineapple. It should be the same product in the same quantity. At the same time, if I ordered something at 10 rupees per piece, it should be getting billed for the same amount only. There should be no discrepancy. If the total amount in purchase order invoice is getting matched along with the quantity in order receipt and invoice, that means we are going to settle down the payment. So that particular cycle is known as source to settle cycle completely. Do we have any questions on this slide? Do we have any questions on this slide?
No rates.
Moving to the next slide. That's where we are going to talk about Ariba network. You can see this backbone, right? It seems like a backbone itself. In this one, you can see the core is Ariba network. And we do have two side of activities, right? It says analyze to pay and then market to cash. The upper section is related to the buyer side, where we are doing supplier management. The bottom section is related to the supplier side and they are doing customer management. These two sections are not interlinked with each other because we are not sharing the information. So it says when we are doing our own analysis, whether we have the budget available or not, the supplier is doing marketing. It's exactly same if you need to purchase a phone, you will be trying to calculate that do you have the right budget available, which phone you need to purchase. At the same time, supplier is spreading out the marketing awareness. You see, right, the hoardings on highways, the advertisement on television, advertisement on Google. This is nothing but spreading the awareness. If someone is releasing iPhone 15 in California and not marketing it, no one will get to know about it. Then how exactly are you going to purchase it? But these two things are going parallelly, right? You are doing your own analysis about the spend and budget or the requirement. At the same time, we are trying to spread the awareness in the market, being a supplier. Once we are able to finalize, we used to do the sourcing. That means we are trying to know who can give us the product at the best price. At the same time, supplier will be placing their bets, right? We are demanding the quotation, they will be giving us the quotations here. We'll create a contract and supplier will also create a contract and those will be getting signed by each other. We will be creating a requisition. Supplier will be maintaining their own catalogs because we have to use the catalog to create a requisition itself. Requisition will go and get an approval done. They will be maintaining their catalog specifying the price and the details. Once approved, it will convert into the purchase order. Purchase order will be received by supplier. Supplier will be creating an invoice and invoice will be received by buyer. Now buyer has to pay the amount and supplier has to receive it. So it's basically the collaboration between buyer and supplier. And it's going to be a three-way communication. If I am sending a sourcing request, it will go from buyer to network first and from network to supplier. So it's a three-way communication. And every record will be kept here with the network itself. Now you can see here, right? It says category, project management, RFI, RFP, auction, collaboration, sourcing, saving, tracking, and pipeline. And what supplier is doing proposal, collaboration, bidding, and opportunities. Right? What we will be doing, we will be talking about PO collaboration, PO transmission, goods and services receipt. And here what he will be doing, order collaboration and sending the order status. That where exactly we are. Invoice delivery, invoice collaboration, invoice receipt, invoice compliance, invoice approval, exception workflow. And then it will be triggered for the payment. So that's the traditional way itself, but in an enhanced process, a easy to use process. So this entire cycle we need to see within the Ariba solution itself. I'm sorry. Any questions on this slide? Any questions on this slide?
No.
Okay, I'll take it as no. Now there are certain things, right, which is who is using what, right? It says electronic invoices, electronic exceptions, and by the percentage, right? So it's basically the older stats which was kept in 2015 for one of our discussion with Ariba itself. So that's the same slide which Ariba used to do the marketing or giving the solutions with their customers. This is the basic Ariba project implementation methodology. It will be quite, early if we are going to talk about it, right now. We have the entire session available for this particular activity itself. We'll talk about the implementation state and team structure too, along with the implementation methodology. The basic release and innovations, that too is the older one, maintained in 2015. For the current one, we can have a discussion and download a new slide. Basic roadmap. And that is, a basic demo glimpse which we had. Now, let's just talk about a few more things. I'm going to open a tracker here, right? This is the actual tracker where we are going to keep the status, right, of each and every session which we are going to do. You can see that we have the sessions listed here, and along with that one, you will see the course topic which is marked completed or which is pending. So the activities which we are going to cover here is the user access management part, the supplier management, both SLPM and your SIPM. We are going to learn about end-to-end sourcing activity, RFI, RFP, reverse auction, full project, as well as forward auction. The entire contract management module, your template configurations, your reporting side of activities, your admin activities, your procurement process end-to-end, catalog, CIG, DFS, guided sourcing and buying, project roadmap and implementation, and generic process of transaction tracking and basic reasons behind failure of those activities. Now, apart from this one, there are certain things which we haven't added, right? In procurement process, we have buyer portal and supplier portal collaboration. So in that one, we are going to look at the default transaction rules, invoice procedures, your currency rounding rules, and many other things, right? But that is a part of the procurement process itself to make it enabled, right? That's why we haven't mentioned it here. Now, my question is, do you see any additional topic to be added to this particular list? Anyone? Anyone? Anyone who thinks that
Yeah, any type
yes,
of real-time errors, troubleshooting. So
yeah, that will be
something
covered here.
great. Thank you so much.
The
We are going to
backend
talk about the
configuration.
implementation itself. So backend configuration we are going to do here. Your master data load, your mass upload of the supplier, supply related integration and synchronization, activity log checks, approval process designing, right? And we have a separate session for the Ariba configuration, which is here, template configurations. So this all is the consulting activities itself.
And just want to make sure that we all have access for while this session using this.
When you say access, that means you're talking about tool.
Yeah,
Okay, so
to
we
get the
have the
hands-on
tool
experience.
available. Yeah, definitely. You are going to do it live, right? I will be working as a buyer and you have to support me during the sessions itself from your end to being a supplier. So we are going to see the entire collaboration. Okay, so my one is, let's just go with this one. Okay, not this one. I'm going to give you a little bit overview how exactly your solution will look like. Okay, I'm sorry, it's just taking a bit time. I'll show you. Do we have any other question too? Meanwhile, we are loading in.
So, do we also touch upon the CAG integration?
We do have a session available here. That's where we are, Cloud Integration Gateway. I'll show you how exactly this will be enabled and from the Ariba perspective, what all you need to do.
Maybe some real time between SAP to Ariba.
Definitely, we'll create a live project. That's not going to be a theoretical session.
So there will be a user access for the system.
So we are going to share the same user ID with you also, which we are going to use during the testing so that there will be no confusions at all.
So there will be an opportunity to get a feel of cloud gateway integrator CGI middleware.
Okay, so anyone in this session who have a different thoughts, right? But my approach is to make you learn is if we are going to have a session for one day, 1 hour, you have to repeat it at least thrice. That too hands-on. And that way you will be able to learn it. Otherwise, you will be lost somewhere, right? So if we are doing a session on this activity, let's suppose, in one of these activities, you have to repeat it thrice. Then only you will be able to get it. So you have to dedicate your time to. And the same access will be given to you. Right? You can see here we have different modules, procurement, invoicing, catalog, and many other things. This is the downstream section. If I'm going to move into the upstream, you will be able to see the sourcing side of activities, sourcing and contract. We got sourcing, contract, supply management, and many more things. Right? That's your upstream. So what we are going to do is we are going to learn it one by one. Even we do have the CIG access also. Come on. I clicked on the wrong section. I have to click on intelligent manager. Sorry, configuration manager, but I clicked on intelligent configuration manager. I have to go to this section. Then this is going to be the CIG, which is managed gateway for spend and network intelligent. It's been changed. Okay. Once I'm clicking on this one, it will take me to this part, and we just have to click on this particular section, which will show the cloud integration gateway like this. So we have a recent rename, right, of cloud integration gateway. Now it's a managed gateway for spend and network.
So this gives an
And
end-to-end
that's how,
solution.
yeah, just an update to the name, nothing else.
They
Right,
have
and that's where we are going to create an integration project, right?
so
And you
this is
can
the
see all
new
this.
name, correct? New name, correct?
Yeah, it's just a new name, right? If I'm going to search like CIG got renamed, it will be known as something else. It says SAP Integration Suite Managed Gateway for Spend Management and Business Network. Earlier it was, see, it's a Ariba Cloud Integration Gateway. Just the renaming, nothing else.
Yeah. Spend. And what about the Ariba network that from supplier end collaboration? No?
Uh-huh. So what is the question?
The Ariba network, we call it as Ariba from the supplier end collaboration. Where do we
All right.
see that?
See, we are going to see the entire end-to-end document flow between PR to invoice on Ariba network itself. I will be working as a buyer, you will be working as a supplier. I'll be creating a purchase requisition which you have to confirm from your end whether you can deliver it or not.
Okay.
So it will be all a real-time exposure. We have the buyer network available for your answer, right? If I'm going to buyer.ariba.com. You can see on the top it says business network.
Mm.
And that's how your buyer network will look like. We have the purchase orders, we have other things available, right? We'll see how exactly it will be working along with the configurations which are required to do these activities. So it's like, let's not try to boil the entire ocean at the same time. We'll go spoon by spoon.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So just for the understanding and the clarity,
Hmm. Got it.
to arrive at something what we agree, no? So that is what.
Exactly, exactly. So that's true. But we have, I think, almost everything covered in this particular list. We have almost 59 topics available, and it's I believe it will be way more than something has been confirmed to you from the institute side, right? We do have guided sourcing and buying too. We have DFS available, right? Along with this one, we do have even SIPM available along with the SLPM. Right, we have user access management available, which was not a part of this particular activity, but I would like to tell you right from very scratch that when someone is going to join your team or you have to join someone's team, you should be aware that how exactly it will be handled, how to create a user at least. Make sense? Then
Yeah.
we have the project implementation and roadmap methodologies too. So way more than enough, right? After completing the course, you can easily claim to be a consultant from last 6 years within Ariba itself.
Or it's if you are if we are seeing about catalog, will you also be taking the catalog configurations also, right?
Yeah, we
Not
have
just the
catalog
process.
manager
Mm.
available. We do have the catalog manager available. We are going to talk about it. That's it. There. We are going to see this entire thing. Even not only this one, but I'll show you how exactly we can import a new catalog. There.
Mm.
Make sense?
Yeah. And if we are like seeing some topics like invoices, you will be explaining about different types of invoices, if that.
I'll show you how exactly the standard type of invoices will be created from supplier side, how it will reach out to buyer, and how exactly you have to take an exception to. We
Mm.
will not be able to cover the self-billing invoices scenario. Other than that one, we will be able to create aggregated and simple both.
Okay.
Because self-billing invoices, a different set of criteria altogether, right? Where buyer will be creating an invoice, not supplier, and it's not a standard solution.
Mm.
Any other question?
Like apart from the standard configurations that is available in Ariba, like just on comparison with SAP, like do we have like additional enhancement that is supported, or for this integration by when you mean integration, does that require like some kind of a the programming or the technical knowledge, or like it's just the
Okay,
completely functional
may
package?
I know who's asking this question because that's a good
Shiva
question.
Kumar. Shivakumar.
Okay, Shiv, you have to understand one thing, right? This SAP solution is based out on a different language, which is ABAP, right?
Yeah.
Now we have Ariba available, and that too focused on Java-based application, Java language, CXML, HTML, Angular, Node.js. So if you would like to make code level changes, you have to be an expert on Java, right?
Okay.
And second part is this was the reference to on-premises solution. Now, second portion of it is if you are working as an Ariba consultant, that too on-demand solution for any kind of customization and for any kind of configurations which is related to enhancement, you have to raise in CR or SR by going into connect.ariba.com to your preferred care support, and they will be responsible to handle the changes. You cannot make any enhancement or customizations in Ariba screen because on-demand solution will not allow you to make changes. That's the section. Did I answer your question, Chef?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Anything
Right.
else?
Will this be a recorded session every day?
Every day it will be recorded session and the same will be shared with you next day to it. And by the way, my name is not Reds. I'm using Institute's user account ID. My name is Ashinder Kashyap.
Okay.
You can call me Ashu also if that is being a little bit typical.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, so like on the reporting part, maybe the
Hmm.
spend management, uh, the supplier performance,
Okay,
all those
so
things. You will also
in
touch upon some. Yeah.
reporting side, we generally have four kind of reports available, right? Those will be analytical, prepackaged, public, and compound reports. And I'll tell you how you have to customize and create a new report.
Okay.
And if you once know about it, you can create any of the report.
Okay.
Right? Though we do have the pre-packaged reports available also, right? Ready to go for it. But still, if your management want you to have some additional reports available, I'll tell you how exactly we can create it.
Okay. Thanks.
Is it linked to supply SAP Analytic Cloud or something?
Can you repeat that question, please?
No, well, like creating a customized report will we like have integration between Ariba and SAC?
No, you just have click on create button. We have analytical report. Go ahead and then create a report. Need not to worry about it. So whatever the fields available on one of the parameter, you can everything you can get into it, and then it will be easy. Let's suppose I'm trying to create a report for this one. I added right. I added one data field. We have added it here. Click on next, and here in that particular section, whatever details you need, maybe this one. Click on next, run the report, and you got the data on your screen like this. We don't have any data available for this particular parameter which we have selected. But it will be easy. I'll show you how exactly we can do that. What kind of things we need to take care while creating a report.
Yeah. So adding to the enhancement part, if it's S4HANA or ECC, will be like taking out the ABAP tables and fields. But in Ariba, it's what you say, it's built on Java. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're preparing a functional spec or something, so how much will it be different from those?
See, if you are going to make any of the changes in the existing process, right? So you have
Hmm.
to requiring a field on
Hmm.
UI also to fill the data which can be captured in the backend table, right? In that
Yeah.
case, there will be two side of changes required. You will require a new field in Ariba screen because that is going to be a front end or UI where a user will be able to fill the information,
Hmm.
right? And same will be mapped with the same table in backend system, and you can easily create a table and the new field. I believe in SAP MM, right? And you just have
Hmm.
to, I would say map the UI field with your ABAP table by using web services and CIG to maintain the entire flow of the data.
Hmm.
So it will be bilateral changes. If you're making some storage, you should create a pipe also from where the data will be flowing, right? From your main screen to your backend system.
Hmm. So would you be able to show us some functional spec documents for any enhancements?
Okay, so I will be able to share the MD50, MD70, BR100, BR300 documents to you, but those will
Hmm.
be scrubbed, right? We will not be able to show you creating of a new field itself because we don't have the rights to do so. Though it
Hmm.
is easy, right? It is easy, but we don't have any rights.
Hmm.
But I can show you how exactly you have to request for it. What are the prerequisite documents?
Okay.
I think I have one document here also. Give me a second.
So
Mm,
any interfaces we use something like APIs, correct? Here we call it as REST. So is it something also which somewhere you will also touch upon during your sessions?
okay, so in APIs and REST web services, we are not going to touch up on those particular areas because those will be only touched when we have the rights to create a new field so that we can create an FMD and then link it with one of the table at the backend. But it will
What
be
is it?
easy, right?
What is
Um,
that? Can you come again, please? Your voice was.
FMD, FMD,
Okay, field
FMD is
mapping.
nothing. FMD is nothing but a flex master data sheet.
Ah, okay.
Right, flex master data sheet is, let's suppose you are maintaining some conditions on a list of data set which is currently available, right? But you have an expectations to make futuristic changes. Maybe tomorrow you have three new company codes available. Maybe tomorrow you have three new material groups available. So we do have a flex master data sheet available which is customized and not hard coded, right, where we can maintain the additional set of data,
Okay. Like
right?
a
And
like a custom
to link
tables,
this.
like a custom tables.
Exactly.
Correct.
You can call it custom table too. You can call you can say this FMD will be linked with the backend system by using the web services.
Mm. Yeah.
So that's the process, right? So what I will be doing is I'll be trying to support you with the data, right, which is available, right? Let's suppose you need MD50 document, which is nothing but functional specification. MD70 is technical specification. BR100 is the draft process document. BR300 is the final business process document, right? And how exactly you will be requesting for a customization with Ariba, that too I can show you on connect.ariba.com.
And in case of on-premise, we have the flexibility
Yes,
to
yes,
manage
yes,
these changes
definitely.
by the company side itself, right? So in that
Definitely,
case, you would need
definitely.
the expertise on these technologies, both functional and from the technical side, to manage this completely independently.
Ah, okay. May I know who's asking this question?
Sure, Kumar.
Okay, okay, great. Good question. So, Shiv, if we're talking about on-premises solution, you will see a team of Java consultants has been hired separately. And you are going to work as an Ariba consultant, not a Java consultant. If there is any customizations required, it need to be hard coded. Java consultant will be working on those Angular and your Node.js scripts. JS is nothing but JavaScript, right? They will be working on that one, and then your part will be creating an FMD document, enabling the web services, and then linking it with the existing table at backend.
Okay, understood.
So all this front-end coding and middle database connection is through Java, and also Angular can be used. That's what we use.
Angular and Node.js will be used to do the hard coding, right, in the application level.
Okay.
Let's suppose you need to create a new field, then it will be hard coded, right? So
Mm,
those JavaScript will be used for the hard coding, and then functional things like mapping, creating an FMD, enabling one of the parameter, those will be handled by the Ariba consultant. That will be you.
so one maybe I may be asking a wrong question, but just, just thinking. Like in SAP, we are very clear on maybe we can go to SE16, look at the table details, maybe a purchase order, purchase requisition. So do we have a tables at the back end, and is it easy and
So
to
your
have a
backend system will still remain the same ERP system. You're not going to maintain your master data in SAP Ariba. That will be maintained in your ECC system only.
okay,
Your material master, your service master, supplier master will be maintained in your ECC system only. But you will be using Ariba to do the UI stuff, like creation of a supplier. But once created, it will be synced to SAP ECC system,
okay,
right? If you have
yeah,
an info record available, that will be synced to ACC system, and then whenever you need it, you can simply select that particular supplier and you can pull it from ECC. So you can call
okay,
Ariba as a skin of ERP system.
okay.
So what about the access process in Ariba? Like there is a bidding process which is not available in SAP. If I have to pull data from for the bidding table or something.
So you said that for sourcing project.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have
Like
the
it.
sourcing project available, and you can pull the data from your master data also. Let's suppose you have a screw set up as master data, material master, and you would like to have a bidding on that particular one. You have the rights to do the selection.
Okay.